to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Before we get too far along, I just want to make one housekeeping item regarding our public hearings, number 11. For items I, J, and K, we're going to, of the public hearings, we're going to move those to the top of public hearings. So we'll go I, J, K, and then back to A for public hearings. All right. Next on our agenda, minutes. The minutes for July 29th, 2026, City Commission Administrative Meeting, and August 3rd, 2026, City Commission Regular Meeting. Minutes have been submitted. Are there any discussion on the minutes? Okay, seeing none, they will be accepted as submitted. Next on the agenda, we have our board and committee appointments. I'm recommending the following board appointments. First, the ADA Compliance Committee, the appointment of Fran Vierick to an initial 2-year term as a citizen-at-large member of the ADA Compliance Committee with a term expiring on September 1st, 2028. Citizens Conservation Board, reappointment of Betsy Adams to a second 3-year term as a citizen-at-large member of the Citizens Conservation Board with a term expiring on February 28th, 2029. Reappointment of Tyler Halligan to a second 3-year term as a citizen-at-large member of the Citizen Conservation Board with the term expiring February 28th, 2029. And the reappointment of Robert Jones to a second 3-year term as a citizen-at-large member of the Citizens Conservation Board with a term expiring on February 28th, 2029. For the Helena Business Improvement District, the appointment of Daniel Bay to a first 3-year term as Board of Trustee member of the Helena Business Improvement District with the term expiring on October 31st, 2029. And to the Planning Commission, appointment of Sean Harris to a first 3-year term as a citizen member of the Planning Commission with term expiring on May 31st, 2029. Any discussion from the commission? Yes, Commissioner Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Comment and then a question. Comment first. Thank you to everyone that applied for these positions and stepping up to volunteer. These are needed pieces of government, so I'm grateful for those folks. And then a question either for you, Mayor Dean, or for Clerk Claiborne. Do we know how many other vacancies we still have posted and available?
Do you want me to, or do you want? Clerk, I'll let you jump in first.
Sure. Mayor Dean, Commissioner Gustafson, we did release from the office an additional PSA just this past week on August 11th, and that was a supplement to one that we had released in the previous week. So just as a caveat to all of these that I'm about to read off the PSA, we have already received several applications for these, so we're very grateful for those that have applied, and we look forward to getting some more applications. The deadline for this round of applications is Monday, August 25th, so there's still time to apply. And to your question, we currently have 1 vacancy on the ADA Compliance Committee, 2 vacancies on the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, 1 on the Citizens Conservation Board, 1 on the Golf Advisory Board, 1 on the BID, 2 on the Helena Housing Authority. What I would say on those particular appointments is they're very specific, and so if there are individuals interested in applying for the Helena Housing Authority, to please contact my office so that we can explain that. The Public Art Committee has 1 vacancy. The TIF Advisory Board has 3 vacancies, and we've been working with community development on trying to find creative ways to promote that board. The Opioid Abatement Committee has 1 vacancy. The Tourism Business Improvement District has 1 vacancy. Your former committee, the Parking Committee, has 2 vacancies, so I need you to work on that for me, please, Commissioner Gustafson. And then finally, we have 14 vacancies on the Helena Citizens Council, so that's not something we typically advertise on these PSAs. We separate the Helena Citizens Council, but we're going to take every opportunity to try and promote those vacancies.
Thank you, Clerk, and I'll just ask people to apply if they haven't yet and do it by next Monday. There's lots of opportunities to serve.
Yes. All right. If there are no additional comments, is there any public comment on board appointments? Any public comment? Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Logan.
I would move to approve the following, or the citizen board appointments as read by Mayor Dean into the record.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, next up, we have the consent agenda. Consent agenda includes one item, resolution declaring police unit number 44 to be surplus property and authorizing the transfer of ownership to the Glendive Police Department. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, is there any public comment on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing no public comment, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Commissioner Reed?
I move to approve consent agenda item A.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, seeing no additional discussion. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, next up, we have communications and proposals from commissioners. Any thoughts from the commission? Okay, seeing none, we'll move right along to report of the city attorney, acting city attorney.
Mayor and Commission, I have nothing to report tonight.
Okay, great, thanks. Report of the city manager. Welcome back, Manager Lake.
Thank you, and good evening, commissioners and members of the public. Very good to be back, first and foremost. Thank you so much to Becky Doctor and Chris Brink for covering down while I was out these past few weeks, as well as the rest of the leadership staff who also stepped in to fill some roles as well. A few updates for you this evening. I do want to remind you, next Monday, August 24th, is our next listening session. It'll be held at 5 p.m. at Brothers Tapworks. The topic this month is supporting our unhoused neighbors. That discussion will be led by our community development staff, so we hope to see a big turnout for that event. Another thing to mark your calendars for a little bit further out, September 16th, I believe it's a Wednesday, our zoning and planning consultants will be back in town. They will be providing and presenting preliminary recommendations on that date. So the event date is, again, Wednesday, September 16th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Civic Center. They'll be holding that open house to discuss their preliminary recommendations based on all the feedback they've gotten so far. And then lastly, I'd like to invite the commission and city staff to an event that will be hosted by the Public Works Department. They will be hosting a flume tour this Friday. If you haven't had the opportunity to go up, I would highly encourage you to do so. It's a great hike and tour. If you are interested, please let us know. We will be meeting here at about 9 a.m. at the City County Building, and we plan to be back by approximately 2 p.m. Wear some good hiking shoes and hiking clothes as well. With that, so that concludes my updates. Happy to be back and happy to take any questions you might have.
Awesome, thank you, Manager Lake. Any questions or comments for Manager Lake? Okay, we will move right along. We have communications from the Helena Citizens Council. I believe Ms. Perry's here.
Nancy Perry from HCC District 2. I'm here to talk to you about a topic HCC has been involved with since 2024. That topic is the storm drain on East Broadway Street that overflows and creates a lake on East Broadway in front of Jefferson Elementary School whenever we have an unusually heavy rain. And HCC sent you a recommendation in January of 2025 to have the drain replaced with a much larger drain system. And I came to talk to you about it at an admin meeting in February of 2025. And you approved our recommendation, and the city invited contractors to submit bids to do the work. Unfortunately, the only bid you received was for an outrageous amount of money, and the chief engineer encouraged you to reject the bid. That fall, the city again advertised for bids, and this time the bid they received was much lower. And on May 4th of this year, you voted to approve giving Montana Materials, that was the company that was bidding on it, the job. So that should be the end of the story, but unfortunately it isn't. I live a block away from this drain, and I know the two ladies living in the houses closest to the drain who are impacted every time it floods. The only thing that has been accomplished since you gave Montana Materials the job is that some green arrows have been pointing to the drain, have been painted on the street. And on July 1st, we had a heavy rainstorm and the drain flooded East Broadway again. So nothing has improved. I've stopped by the office of your clerk, Danae Claiborne, several times, asking her to talk to the engineers and find out the reason for the delay, and she has done that. Danae learned that a gas service line running to one of the affected homes is in the way of the new drain system. And the contractor, Montana Materials, said that the gas service line has to be relocated by Northwest Energy before Montana Materials can do their work. Northwestern Energy said they're busy, and they can't do the work for 3 to 6 months. Okay? Meantime, the work needs to be completed and the street put back together before school starts on August 26th. I came tonight simply to ask you, the mayor and the commission, to use your awesome powers to make this happen. Please do whatever you can to get Northwestern Energy and Montana Materials moving. Hopefully, the next time it's my turn to come talk to you, I'll be able to stand up and say thank you. And I just want to quote the lady that did the video that I think most of you have seen of the water pouring through her chain link fence and tearing down the hill beside her house and tearing out her retaining wall and pulling up all her plantings. I wrote to her today to tell her what Danae had told me about the status of this project, and she wrote back, "I am just so frustrated and disappointed and scared. Every time there's rain forecasted, I get anxious, and I feel like I can't do anything except sit at home and be ready for emergency action just in case. And when I'm out of town or even just away from work or away from home at work, there's a constant worry in the back of my mind. I really don't think it's fair as a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen to be living with this situation." And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. And I believe, I don't know if the clerk would like to comment or the manager on, I know that our staffs are working with contractors. I don't know if there's anything else to report right now.
Mayor Dean, Commission, everything that Ms. Perry is, all the information I've received from the engineer's office per her request.
Great. So hopefully we'll have a status update soon.
I'm sorry?
I said I hope we'll have a status update soon from Northwestern.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Okay, any additional questions for HCC from the commission? Okay, we will go ahead and move along to regular items. And we'll keep rolling through these, but please don't let that stop folks from asking questions if you have them. All right, first up, we have consider a resolution, or excuse me, consider a proposal to dedicate public right-of-way for Imperial Avenue and North Washington Street to the city of Helena totaling 3.53 acres. Director Knopke.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. This is adjacent to the Kings Common development over by Super One. The Imperial Avenue right-of-way dedication will be approximately 1.03 acres. The North Washington Street, right-of-way dedication will be about 2.5 acres, and we'll have a slide up here shortly. This parcel has been developed with both, with the right-of-way that's being dedicated and then private streets internally, with totaling 3.5 acres. This equals about 1.5 miles of new roadway. All the required street and utility infrastructure has been installed and inspected. And you have these in your packet, but I'll leave it up on the, maybe. So staff's recommendation is we move to approve the dedication of right-of-way for Imperial Avenue and North Washington Street to the city of Helena totaling 3.53 acres. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions for Director Kanapke? All right, seeing no questions, is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment? All right, seeing no public comment, any final commission discussion? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Reed.
I move to approve the dedication of public right-of-way for Imperial Avenue and North Washington Street to the city of Helena totaling 3.53 acres.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, item B, consider approval of the final plat for commercial phase 7 of the Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision, creating 7 parcels totaling 10.01 acres. Planner Goodrich.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. As you mentioned, this evening, we are considering approval of the final plat for commercial phase 7 of Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision. General location is the northwestern corner of the intersection of Alice Street and Helen P. Clark Street. And again, this whole Mountain View Meadows subdivision is to the southeast boundary of the city limits. Just a little background, on May 7th, 2012, Helena City Commission approved the preliminary plat for the Crossroads Amendment at Mountain View Meadows subdivision. Previous preliminary plat extensions were approved on May 4th, 2015, April 23rd, 2018, May 4th, 2020, and May 7th, 2023. Today, Mountain View Meadows LLC is requesting final plat of commercial phase 7 of Craftsman Village at Mountain View Meadows subdivision. As for conditions of approval, all conditions of approval are associated with the Crossroads Amendment at Mountain View Meadows subdivision preliminary plat, which was approved May 7th, 2012, have been met. Therefore, city staff recommends the following motion. Move to approve the final plat of commercial phase 7 of the Crossroads Mountain View Meadows subdivision, creating 7 parcels totaling 10.01 acres.
My mic's off. Questions? All right, you might be getting off the hook easy. Is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment, any final commission discussion? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Commissioner Logan.
thank you. I move to approve the final plat for commercial phase 7 of the Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision, creating 7 parcels totaling 10.01 acres.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Item C, we'll consider a resolution for final annexation of commercial 7 of the Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision. Planner Goodrich.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. As you mentioned, consideration of a resolution for final annexation of commercial phase 7 of the Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision. General location is unchanged from the previously approved commercial 7 final plat. On May 7, 2012, the Helena City Commission approved a resolution of intent to annex resolution number 19911 for Crossroads Amendment at Mountain View Meadows subdivision. This resolution was subsequently amended as follows. May 22nd, 2017, resolution number 20340, and April 6, 2020, resolution number 20597, which deferred the dedication and transfer of the fire station lot to a later phase of the Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision. For the conditions of approval, applicant has met all conditions for final annexation set forth in resolution 19911 as amended by resolutions 20340 and 20597, and is now eligible for final annexation to the city of Helena. Therefore, city staff recommends the following motion. Move to approve a resolution for final annexation of Commercial 7, consisting of 7 parcels totaling 10.01 acres derived from tract A1, 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 A1A, created as a result of the final plat of Craftsman Village, Phase 10 of the Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision, document number 3445162, containing 89.29 acres, Lewis and Clark County, Montana.
Okay, thank you. Questions for Planner Goodrich? Okay, seeing no questions, is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment? Okay, seeing none, any final discussion from the commission? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean.
Commissioner Logan.
Thank you. I move to approve a resolution for final annexation of Commercial 7 consisting of 7 parcels totaling 10.01 acres derived from tract A1, 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 A1A, created as a result of the final plat of Craftsman Village, Phase 10 of the Crossroads at Mountain View Meadows subdivision, document number 3445162, containing 89.29 acres, Lewis and Clark County, Montana.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, seeing no additional discussion. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby?
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson?
Aye.
Commissioner Logan?
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Item D, consider an annual lease agreement with Rocky Mountain Development Council for the Neighborhood Center property. Director Sampson.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Troy Sampson, Community Facilities Department. Tonight, we have before you the annual lease with Rocky Mountain Development Council for the Neighborhood Center property located at 200 South Cruz Avenue. The fiscal year 27 annual lease rate is set at $47,532. It's an increase over fiscal year 2026 of $2,149. We're here to execute an annual lease agreement. This agreement will be good through June 30th of 2027. Staff's recommendation is to approve the annual lease agreement for the Neighborhood Center at 200 South Cruz Avenue with Rocky Mountain Development Council through June 30, 2027.
Okay, questions for Mr. Sampson? Yes, Commissioner Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. A couple questions, and apologies if they were in here and I missed it. The lease includes their parking lot, or the parking lot that's attached to the building off of Cruz. And then, so are they responsible for plowing and shoveling the parking lot and any folks parked in there? Or does that parking lot get, enforced by our parking group?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioner Gustafson. The parking lot is not enforced at all, so it's just for the customers of the Neighborhood Center. I think that there's only ADA parking that might be enforced through the police department on an on-call basis, but. Does that answer your
Okay.
question? Okay.
Okay, any additional questions? All right, is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment, any final discussion from the commission? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean.
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
I move to approve the annual lease agreement for the Neighborhood Center at 200 South Cruz Avenue with Rocky Mountain Development Council through June 30th, 2027.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, seeing no final discussion. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby?
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson?
Aye.
Commissioner Logan?
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Item E, consider lease agreements for the George D. Anderson Commerce Center, also known as the Chamber Building. Mr. Sampson.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, Commissioners, the George D. Anderson Commerce Center, known as the Chamber Building, owned by the City of Helena and occupied currently by the Montana Business Assistant Connections Incorporated and the Helena Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to execute new lease agreements with both those entities that would be good through June 30, 2027. The Helena Area Chamber of Commerce lease consists of 2,636 square feet at a rate of $15.50 per square foot. The Montana Business Assistance Connection lease will consist of 2,098 square feet at a rate of $15.50 a square foot, same as the chamber. One thing I want to point out is the memo square footage is correct at 2,098 square feet for MBAC. However, the lease agreement is incorrect, so that will be revised prior to execution of the agreement. Staff's recommendation is to approve the lease agreement for the George D. Anderson Commerce Center at 225 North Cruz Avenue with Montana Business Assistance Connections Incorporated and the Helena Area Chamber of Commerce through June 30, 2027. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Sampson? Yes, Commissioner Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Another parking-related question. I saw in the lease that both the Chamber and MBAC get parking spots with their lease. Are those, have they been assigned spots, or do they just get parking permits for that lot that is patrolled by the parking?
Okay. Mayor, Commissioner Gustafson, so the parking lot is actually owned by Transportation Systems, City of Helena. So we do purchase permits, and it's not per, or by space. They don't have assigned parking. It's just to park in the permitted spaces in that lot.
Okay, another question, and I probably should know this one. This lease does cover, these two lease agreements cover the maintenance for the building. Could you speak briefly to the maintenance that's happening right now and how that is all coming about?
Yes, thank you. Mayor, Commissioners, so the Chamber of Commerce building right now, the lease does cover the maintenance. So we have janitorial contractors that clean the facility. We also have staff that maintain it on a repair and maintenance basis and preventative maintenance. Currently, we have some mold mitigation going on. We had some roof leaks through the rain gutter system that comes into the building, which penetrated into some of the walls. So that's being mitigated currently. The project's going well. They're wrapping it up this week with the actual mitigation portion. The good news is that as they investigated, they really didn't find, I mean, there was certainly some wet areas and some mold in there, but they were able to mitigate all of that. So project's coming to an end, and we'll be doing reconstruction here shortly.
Okay. Any additional questions for Dr. Sampson? Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
Mayor Dean, thank you. Thank you for the clarification on the square footage. So I guess just for the record, the price, the $32,519 is correct.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Just,
Yes.
Just making sure I
Yeah.
did some division and it worked out. Just wanted to make sure.
Okay, any additional questions? All right, is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment and no additional commission discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
I move to approve the lease agreements for the George D. Anderson Commerce Center at 225 North Cruz Avenue with Montana Business Assistance Connections, Inc., and the Helena Area Chamber of Commerce through June 30th, 2027.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, item F, consider a resolution of intention to set residential and commercial wastewater base and usage rates and to set a public hearing date. Director Leland.
Mayor and Commission, I'd like to do a presentation for the next four, so it'd be F, G, H, and I that set the water and wastewater rates, plus the charges to go with it if you'd like.
Please go for it.
See if that worked, yep. All right, so for both the water and sewer rates, we would like to propose an increase. For the water, for this presentation, we have 11.5, which we discussed about at the staff meeting, or the admin meeting on Wednesday, that we had talked about maybe lowering this to 9, and we can get into that. And then for sewer, we are looking at 8.5% is what we are requesting. Then the charges that go along with it are minor increases that relate back to the rates themselves of how we got them created. So a couple dump trucks, we also found that we were under charging for them, so we increased those with the charges, but they would be the corresponding 11.5 and 8.5% for any of this water or wastewater charges. This is the breakdown. You can see operations. We were able to reduce some of the operations because of the energy savings at the wastewater plant, so we were able to reduce the overall operations that we needed. So we are saving some there, then some internal charges. Capital improvements is where you're seeing some of the biggest items, because the wastewater treatment plant is getting old. We kick the can down the road waiting for a permit, but some of the stuff we just have to go ahead and take care of, such as a screw press, which has been needed for a long time to take care of our biosolids. And then what we discussed about at the admin meeting was the water line service program that we're doing, which was the 2.5%. So based if you want to go forward or not would be need if you go with the 11.5 or 9%. This is how we compare based on our units that we have. The overall averages is 11.5 unit or 11 units for water and 7 units for wastewater. We are getting up there, but Bozeman and Billings are still higher. Kalispell would be higher if we only go with the 9%. You're seeing about almost a $6 a rating. Average increase per month for water if you go with 11.5, and then you'll see that it's going to be around the $4.50 for the 9%, and then you're looking at $3.71 if you go with the 8.5% for wastewater. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions or comments for Director Leland? Yes, Commissioner Logan.
Thank you. So we had a pretty good discussion at the administrative meeting on the concern about the new program relative to service lines. I'm certainly comfortable with the increases up to that program, but I'm not comfortable moving forward with the 2.5% to fund that new program this particular year. As was pointed out, you know, these, even at 9%, that's a pretty significant increase. However, it addresses inflationary impacts as well as deferred maintenance that's been deferred for a number of years. So I'm comfortable with those increases, but not the 2.5% for the service line program. So I guess I'll leave it at that, and the only other question I have is how to appropriately make the motion for the rate on the water, I guess.
Mayor, Commission. With that, you would just go to the recommendation and just say that you would do a resolution of intention to set the residential and commercial water base rates for 9.5%, or 9%, sorry, and then set a public hearing date of September 28th. One thing I will point out is that it is a resolution of intention, so it isn't the final say. If it gets passed with 11.5%, it still can come down, it just cannot go back up. So I would just make that correction just when you say the resolution intention to set the rates and water use, water base rate and usage rate at 9%, and then we will make the changes to the appropriate changes to the resolution intention.
All right, I'm just one member of the commission, so I don't know where everybody else is at, but that's where I'm at this point. So thank you, Mayor.
And I think that's where we did have a good discussion last Wednesday on this issue. I think the commission did, as a whole, agree that we could hold in this in these considerations, but we are going to bring it back before, my request was before the next fiscal year, because this is obviously failing service lines are an issue that are going to continue to happen, and most people, in my opinion, are not aware that they're responsible for the curb box to the main, and there's something we could do to help make the burden less severe and immediate on homeowners when we spread it out amongst the entire, everyone that will be affected eventually. So, any other thoughts from the commission? Yes, go.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Just to, I guess, for everyone's digestion of the rate increases, that the rates you see of the other towns are from last year's, assuming that they have increases as well. So there's still going to be some shifting. So.
Correct.
Yes, Commissioner Reed?
A question, in the other, big cities that we have listed here, how many of them have service line replacement programs? Do we know?
Mayor and Commission, it is basically split almost right down the middle, 4 and 4. You have Billings, Butte, Bozeman that take care of it, and then Great Fall, or Butte is from the line. I thought I had the slide up here, but I guess I forgot to get it. But it's split right down the middle. So some of the bigger ones have it, and then Kalispell, Billings have the service line, and then Great Falls, Butte, Bozeman do not. So it is a clean split.
Yes, Commissioner Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor. Can you go back to the slide that had the percentage increase, one back? That one. Oh, that one. Thank you, Director Leland. I had a question for you and you answered it pretty well, so I'm going to hopefully you can repeat it when we're on the Flume tour. One of my questions was about capital improvements and when we do those, and if we can increase rates in advance to essentially save for big incoming improvements, or do we, have the cost of the improvement and then increase the rates to pay for that improvement? And I appreciate you talking about that we had to wait. We've been waiting on some improvements, so we can't wait anymore, and so that's why we have these increases. Can you answer that question again about increasing, because I remember you were saying something, we could do big spikes for a couple years, or we can do gradual. How do you balance that out, and how have we done that in the past for capital improvements?
Mayor and Commission, we never like to have great big increases 20, 30% or go up 20, 30% and then come down. We like to keep it gradual to be able to do that. What we need to do is try and be proactive instead of reactive when we have stuff that fail and we have to come in there and fix it. It tends to raise the cost by the contractors coming in to be able to fix everything you needed to get it done very quickly. Plus you have the expense of just the emergency that goes on. So we go out and try and get loans and be able to spread the cost cost out for longer periods of time to take care of any of the big projects such as anything to do with the plants, the big transmission lines coming in, such as the 4.3% is mainly paying for the 10-mile transmission main that is coming in, the last phase of that. We are going to have to get a loan and to be able to go out, and it gives us more flexibility without having to worry about it failing all the time. So if you're going to have a lot of failures, you're going to be stuck. So it gives us more time to work with contractors and with engineers to get it taken care of.
Follow up if I may. Thank you. And can you, I know you talked about this during budget presentations. As you're looking ahead towards future year rates, are we thinking these level of increases to keep paying for some of these big projects, or how do you predict the future?
Mayor and Commission, it's hard to predict the future, but that is why we did such as the solid waste study for rate studies, and then also we have a water and wastewater study that is getting a little outdated. We're proposing to have this increase and then try and level it off based on some of the loans out there, and then getting the overall new income, new revenue that's coming in. It's hard to predict. Basically, with the weather, we are in the business of selling water, so the more we sell, the less we have to raise the rates, but we don't want to just frivolously water stuff. So it's a fine line that we walk, but we are not predicting to continue to have these biggest spikes. But it is hard to say coming forward.
Any additional discussion from the commission? I do just want to, I really appreciated everyone's comments on Wednesday. And if folks in the public are interested in learning more about service lines and the rest, I would encourage you to go listen to our recording. I want to be clear that I am very supportive of the a new service line program where the city would take over responsibility from the curb box to the main, but I don't know that we're quite there yet, given the pressures that everyone is feeling anyway. Yes, thank you for this slide. This shows kind of the half and half or so variety. I guess if we got on board, it would be half and half of how other Montana cities handle this, but it is something that with an aging infrastructure, many homes will continue to experience, you know, this issue, and for many, a $35,000 bill is often unexpected. I'm glad that we have our 0% interest loan program, but that's still, whether you're paying it out, you know, 10 years or in 1 year, that's a pretty significant impact to any homeowner. And I think that this new program is worthy of additional discussion from the commission prior to the next budget cycle. So with that, any other discussion before we move to public comment?
Can I just see the slide again of how we compare to the other rates? There.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh,
Uh,
that's okay. I think I saw it.
We can go back one more time because it was. There we go. All right, so is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment on the residential and commercial wastewater base and usage rates, I will entertain a motion.
So, Mayor Dean, question. So Director Leland, you were dealing with FGH and I.
Yeah.
So do
Mayor
we
and Commission, yes, we need individual
want to take those one at a
motions
time?
in order.
And we'll do public comment for each of those.
Okay. All right, so I think I'm on the wrong one for F.
Commissioner, I think Rigby can get you on this one.
I move to approve a resolution of intention to set residential and commercial wastewater base and usage rates and set a public hearing for September 28th, 2026.
It's been moved and seconded.
Mayor Dean?
Yes,
Do we need to
Commis-
mention the percentage as was indicated by Director Leland, or no?
That's not until item I.
Oh, that's, okay, sorry, my bad.
So this one is just the residential and commercial wastewater. The water system is item I. Nope, you're good. Okay. Seeing no additional discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, so now we will take up item G, consider resolution of intention to set charges for all customers of the City of Helena wastewater system and set a public hearing date. Is there any public comment on item G? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment and no additional commission discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean?
Yes, Commissioner Reed.
I move to approve a resolution of intention to set residential and commercial wastewater charges and set a public hearing for September 28th, 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we'll now move to item H, which is consider resolution of intention to set charges for services or equipment purchases for all customers of the City of Helena water system and set a public hearing date. Is there any public comment on item H? Okay, seeing no public comment, any final discussion from the commission? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean.
Yes, Commissioner Logan.
I move to approve a resolution of intention to set charges for water services or equipment purchases and set a public hearing for September 28th, 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, and now item I, consider a resolution of intention to set rates for all customers of the City of Helena water system and set a public hearing date. This is the one that will require an update in the motion language. Is there any public comment on item I? Okay, seeing no public comment, any commission discussion? Yes, Commissioner Reed.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Just briefly, since I was not here on Wednesday, I also support the service line. I appreciate that we're not ready yet, but I do look forward to a discussion of it as well before the next fiscal year.
All right, seeing no additional discussion, is there any public comment on item I? Okay, seeing none, and no additional discussion, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean.
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
I move to approve a resolution of intention to set residential and commercial water base and usage rates, not including the new water line program rate increase, and set a public hearing for September 28th, 2026.
Is there a second? We're getting a thumbs up from the acting city attorney.
Yes, Mayor, I think that captures the difference between the 11.5% and the 9% that was discussed.
Great, thank you.
I'm happy to then to second, so.
Great. It has been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, we will move on to item J. Consider a resolution of intention to specify the assessment option for the Special Urban Forest Management District for fiscal year 2027 and levy and assess all properties within the district and set a public hearing date. Mr. Langsather.
Thank you, Mayor Dean and Commission. I know there's been considerable discussion of how we ended up at the rate of $1.17, so moving from a current assessed rate for the Special Urban Forestry District of $39 to $40.17. I do want to provide one correction. We had a $10,000 difference in the operational costs that were listed on the current situation write-up and the resolution has the correct figure. But with all of that, city staff would recommendation would be to move to approve a resolution of intention to specify the assessment option for the Special Urban Forest Management District for fiscal year 2027 and levy and assess on all property within the district and to set a public hearing date on August 31st, 2026. With that, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that I can.
Thank you, Mr. Langsather. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor Dean, and thank you for the update. We had, and I know we had discussed it quite a bit, but we had a proposal in an admin meeting to increase it to $9 because the fund was not keeping up with costs. And so now we've, thanks to the city attorney's work, we're increasing it just by $1 or whatever the dollar and $1.17. Can you speak a little bit to what this difference will be in terms of the budget? Like what elements will be cut, or how we will use this smaller assessment this year?
Mayor Dean, Commissioner Gustafson, I would like to turn those questions to Urban Forest Manager Chris Daly, who's online, that can speak to specific operational costs.
Yes, Mr. Daly, go ahead.
Mayor, Commission, can you hear me okay?
We can, yes.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission. So we only have a few line items that we can really adjust and use, and it boils down to operations, and that's essentially seasonal labor and tree planting are the first two that would get hit.
Any additional questions for Mr. Daly?
Thank you, Mayor
Go
Dean. Mr. Daly, if you could expand on that. So you hire fewer seasonal employees to keep up with the tree maintenance, and then you plant fewer trees. Do you have a sense on how much or how many fewer trees and options for that?
Sorry, hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
Sorry, I get froze up there. The tree planting budget is currently sitting at around 17,000, and then I think the seasonal budget is around 35,000, those two line items. And so it would just be a matter of making up, whatever difference where we can. The other one that we have access to and control over is contracted services. And I think that one's sitting at 15,000. And so as far as, it would just, it would be a matter of, keeping our budget in the black, so to speak.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Daly. Any additional questions for park staff?
Mayor Dean?
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
Is this a percentage or just a flat $1.17? Like, is that just the max we can do? I missed that part of the admin meeting, sorry.
Mayor Dean, Commissioner Rigby, yes, it is. That's the most that we could move in a given fiscal year. And so that's where that figure originated from.
Okay.
And I think City Attorney Pettish can add some additional context too.
Yes, Madam Mayor and Commission. So MCA 711-1009, it limits how much we can assess for a special district of this type. I would look to finance for the accounting of that, but my understanding is it's based on CPI, and you look at two different figures and you take the lesser of the two, and so that's how we ended up with the $1.17 amount.
Thank you. So we'll be doing $1.17 for a while. You don't
Yes.
have to answer that. I was just,
Well, maybe I'll add additional, a comment here. Some of our discussion on Wednesday is, included the current needs of, the urban forest management district exceed the revenue that is produced by this right now. There is a lot more need in our community for our urban forest maintenance and you know, increasing costs everywhere else. I think this is another one of those items that, per our discussion on Wednesday, staff are going to be looking into what are additional solutions that we can utilize to help meet some of that delta between our need and what state law allows, given the parameters in which this district was created, because that is kind of the rub, as we created a district with jurisdiction-wide, and that's where there are some of the limitations. So on Wednesday, we discussed that staff are going to be looking into other solutions to help address that delta and really meet the needs of the community when it comes to managing our urban forest. So TBD on that. Okay. So, is there any public comment on item J? Any public comment?
My name is Colleen Street. On this urban forestry, I do have want to know for clarification. Is this the program in which you monitor the residential areas for the trees?
So, ma'am, during public comment, we'll accept your comment and then.
Isn't it public comment now?
Yes, ma'am. So the way that public comment works is that the commission
well,
doesn't
I
engage in
will-
the back and forth, but when public comment has concluded, any member of the commission can take up some of the items that were addressed and direct those to staff or provide additional comments. So we just have to go through all the public comment first.
Okay, I have a public comment then.
Please go ahead.
Okay, 3 or 4 years ago, the urban forestry assessment was established. Okay, I live in Mountain View Meadows. We were required to plant our trees. I paid for the trees, I paid for the landscaping, I paid for the rocks. Then all of a sudden, city employees come up to our neighborhood, and they tell us that those trees belong to them now, and we're not to touch them. Absolutely not, but we're to water them. So I am paying to water a city tree now. So that's my public comment.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any additional public comment? Any additional public comment? Okay, seeing none, is there any additional commission discussion? I wonder, Mr. Langsather, question for you. Can you maybe discuss how the urban forestry program works and how our maintenance of boulevard trees operates?
Mayor, Dean, Commissioners, so the Special Urban Forest Management District is responsible for taking care of public trees that occur within public right-of-ways and within public parks. And that care includes pruning the trees, removing the trees when they are hazardous or dead, and replanting the trees and nurturing the trees. So basically anything that it takes to manage public trees.
Okay, thank you. And then I'm going to look to Attorney Pettis really quickly. I wonder, can you talk a little bit about when we have a requirement for new development, how that works when a development is underway and when those public rights-of-way move to city maintenance after the development is complete?
Mayor and Commission, I can try. I don't want to maybe speak without, or too much without the code in front of me, but my understanding of the trees is that, yes, residents are responsible for boulevard and right-of-way trees, the maintenance. So that does entail, I think it's called like something to the effect of minor maintenance, right? So watering, minor pruning, things of that nature. It changes when it becomes a major tree issue. So at that point, residents are required to get permits before doing that work, or having a contractor do that work for them. That contractor would have to get a permit. But it is the responsibility of homeowners to plant those trees as well. And yes, they are city trees, but they, yes, they are the responsibility of the homeowner, and that is pursuant to our city code.
Okay.
And does that answer your question, at least?
Yeah,
in
I
part,
think-
maybe? And
so-
I apologize. The other part, maybe I don't know if I feel comfortable speaking to that, because I just don't have it off the top
No,
of my head.
that's okay. I think what I'm getting at is that when a development is underway and infrastructure is being installed, which includes tree infrastructure, living, code requirements, so our zoning and development codes say that we have boulevards, we have trees, and that is the responsibility of the developer and those developing the property. Once it's occupied, just like shoveling your sidewalk, that is a responsibility of the homeowner, as is watering the tree, but any of the major pruning, trimming, if there's a major storm and a tree splits and falls into the road, that's where, which we've had more and more of, that is where urban forestry comes in to help assist in providing those services. So I hope that clears up some of the complication that often arises from how these things transfer. Okay. So with that, is there any additional commission discussion? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion?
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
I move to approve a resolution of intention to specify the assessment option for the Special Urban Forest Management District for fiscal year 2027 and levy and assess on all property within the district, and to set a public hearing on August 31st, 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional discussion, I will, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we are going to go ahead and move on to public hearings. As a reminder, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to start with item I, and then we will go on to J and K, and then come back to A. So, item I, consider a resolution to specify the assessment option for the special street lighting districts for fiscal year 2027, and levying an assessment on all property within the district. Is that the one we're doing?
What's that one?
Yeah. Thanks for being flexible, Ms. McLean. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you said the special street lighting
I
districts,
think,
correct?
yep, I think, yes, we'll start with I.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This resolution is the assessment option for the special street lighting districts for fiscal year 2027 and levying the assessment on all of the properties within those districts. So this is the assessment that helps pay for the lighting on all of our 54 lighting districts within the city limits. And it helps to just defray those costs of providing the electricity, the maintenance, and the administration of each district. And this is the final resolution. Any questions?
I'm actually going to pause this for 1 second. I think that our staff agenda is labeled under public hearings. For the other agenda that everyone else said, I is consider resolution levying assessments for improvements on sidewalks. Is that what you have?
That's what I have
Okay.
too.
I apologize.
That's okay.
So Madam Clerk, can I ask you a question?
I will see if I can figure out what your staff agenda says from afar.
Sorry, Mayor Dean, in the packet, item I
Yep.
is sidewalks, curbs, and gutters.
Which is what we want.
What you want, but in the summary agenda, which I'm holding a physical copy of, I is lights.
Okay, so the intention is that we want I for sidewalks, curbs, gutters, and so basically the last three in regular items.
Okay,
Is that okay?
that's fine.
So we're
Just
gonna,
gotta get to the right
does that
page.
make sense to everyone? So we're going to, we would like to get the last few items that require some staff done so that they can go to a separate event that they have. So we're going to consider resolution levying assessments for improvements on sidewalks, curbs, gutters, and alley approaches in the city of Helena, Montana for tax year 2026. I think that we got confused on the numbering between the two different different orders on the agendas.
Can somebody say what page in the packet that one is? Because it's
Yes, that would be,
416. Thank you.
you got it? Okay, please go ahead.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. So this resolution is levying assessment for the improvement of sidewalks, curbs, gutter, and alley approaches in the city of Helena for tax year 2026. And so these are the property owners that entered into agreements with the city in order for the city to complete the work to improve those items. In 2026, we had 14 agreements with property owners, and these assessments will be applied for 10 years until the work is paid off, unless they pay it off earlier. The total new property assessments to be applied to tax bills is $104,675 for tax year 2026. And again, this is the final resolution. Any questions on this one?
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Ms. McLean? Okay, seeing none, is there any public comment on the improvement for sidewalks, curbs, gutters, and alley approaches? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment on improvements for sidewalk, curbs, gutters, and alley approaches, and no additional commission discussion, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Reed.
I move to approve a resolution levying assessments for improvement of sidewalks, curbs, gutters, and alley approaches in the city of Helena, Montana for tax year 2026.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional commission discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we will move along to the next item in the agenda in that order, which is consider resolution to levy and assess properties to recover the cost of reimbursement for water and wastewater infrastructure installed by the city for tax year 2026. Ms. McLean.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. So this one is the program in which property owners have entered into agreements with the city to have service for water and wastewater out to their properties. And so this is just a levy to assess those property owners based on their agreements and pay back those amounts. And this is for tax year 2026, and this is the final resolution. Any questions?
Seeing, any questions from the commission? Okay, seeing none, is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment on assessing properties to recover the cost of reimbursement for water and wastewater infrastructure? Okay, seeing no public comment, any final commission discussion? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Commissioner Rigby.
I move to approve a resolution to levy and assess properties to recover the cost of reimbursement for water and wastewater infrastructure installed by the city for tax year 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, and then our final one that will be out of order, consider a resolution specifying the assessment option for the Street Maintenance and Improvement District Number 1 for fiscal year 2027 and levy and assess all properties within the district. Ms. McLean.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. So this resolution is the assessment for the Street Maintenance and Improvement Districts Number 1 for tax year 2026. And this assessment goes towards the improvement and maintenance of our public streets in the district. It does include that new methodology we have spoken about a few times. The main difference in that methodology is that we're moving to a square footage calculation solely and getting rid of that base rate. Any questions?
Okay, any questions or comments for Ms. McLean or transportation staff?
Mayor Dean.
Commissioner Logan.
I think this may be more a comment for the, well, no, I do have a question for Director Kanapke. That I don't know that we really, well, why the change in the methodology? From the flat rate to, or basically the flat rate to a per square foot fee?
Mayor Commission, we, through the settlement of the lawsuit for the street maintenance, some of that came out that there should be changes in the methodology, primarily between vacant and developed land. And through that process and discussions with the city manager at the time and commission, we tried to simplify the rate structure so that it's just basically, it's all based on square footage where you didn't have a base rate plus a square footage rate calculation. In this, we went through basically asking for the same amount of money as previous and just back calculated into what those rates would be. We established basically a consistent split between commercial and residential and set caps for how that square footage would be applied. So in the case of residential, that would be capped at 12,200 feet, or with commercial, 1 million square feet, which was what was previous. So that's kind of the evolution. We just wanted to kind of be able to have a simpler method instead of having the base rates and trying to differentiate between the differing rates. Sorry, that sounded like a word salad.
Thank you, Director, and thank you, Mayor. So my next is just a comment mainly for the public, and the question was really for the public too, from the standpoint of typically, well, as long as I've been on the commission, the rates have been, you know, the resolution, when we get to rate setting, we'll typically have a little table that says, here's what happened last year, here's what happened this year. So we don't really have a way to compare for the individual ratepayer what this year looks like relative to last year. So one of the things in getting up to tonight, I found from staff that essentially the revenue being collected during this change in methodology, well, basically the budget for the street maintenance district will basically be the same budget. But it's important to understand that certain ratepayers, depending on their lot size, will maybe have a decrease in their street maintenance rates. And some, and it's actually, if you do the math, if you have a property that is 7,338 square feet, you will have no increase. Everything below that size, you'll have a decrease in your street maintenance rate. Everything above that, you're gonna have an increase. So it's just a kind of a public awareness thing that it's not maybe as straightforward as years past to compare what your assessment bill was last year to versus this year. So I understand that it will be a transition, and I think it's important for the public to know that as well. So thank you, Mayor Dean, for the comment, and thank you, Director, and Manager Lake for patiently answering my questions. So thanks.
Any additional questions for Director Konopki?
Mayor Dean?
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
So if what we're collecting is the same, but we had that shortfall from last year, have we made any progress on how we'll collect that? So there's no surprise? Because wasn't there a discrepancy in mobile homes last year and for this year? And
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, that was taken into account. That was more of a clerical error last year. So we budgeted the same but received less. So this year, those were taken into account so that it would come out to be what we're budgeting is what we hope to recover. Now, typically over the last several years, what we budget and what we get back isn't always the same, is not always the same, because there's protested taxes, there's changes in uses, there's different in assessed rate, excuse me, assessed values. So this will be, as we move forward, our budget will look at these rates in upcoming budget years, and we'll adjust as those figures. Maybe some years might go down, some years might go up, but with the cost of materials, most likely we'll see it creep up. But right now, everything's been taken into account for, and basically there's going to be some variance just because of the, again, protested taxes, what the assessed values are, and some other factors.
so their bill's going to be higher this year and then not next year to make up the difference? I guess I'm misunderstanding. Sorry.
Mayor and Commission, it was too late to resend out the taxes, so what the mobile homes got billed this year is what they got billed. There will not be an increase to catch up. What we budgeted for in here was what we need to recover for our budget, and that's it. We wouldn't be doubling up on those this year.
Okay.
Or next, this year.
Okay.
And
Got it.
maybe Director Konopki, you mentioned protested taxes, late payments, et cetera. You account for variable circumstances that could impact the budget, within a certain, I guess, threshold. Is that accurate?
Mayor and Commissioners, yes, we always know that there's going to be a certain amount, over a couple of years. It was fairly consistent, so that's what we budgeted, and then unfortunately there was a dip. So we try to do our best guess or our best shot at what we're going to anticipate, and then budget for that, and then hope that the values come in and the taxes come in at what was issued.
Great. I will, a brief comment, I do appreciate your guys' work in what it's taken to go from a flat rate to a rate based on how large your property is. I think that will result in a more equitable system, and I think a logical one where if you have a smaller lot, there is less, you're responsible for less of the street in front of your house rather than if you are in a home that takes up an entire square block, you obviously have more street assessment around your property. So I think that this presents a situation in which it's more logical and more equitable for all of the ratepayers. Okay, any additional comments? All right, is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment on the street maintenance and improvement district? Okay, seeing no public comment and no additional commission discussion, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
move to approve a resolution specifying the assessment option for the Street Maintenance and Improvements District Number 1 for fiscal year 2027 and levy and assess all property within the district.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional discussion, I will entertain a motion. Excuse me, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll? Thank
Commissioner
you.
Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. And thanks for everyone's patience as we got through those couple items. We're going to come back to the top of public hearings and start with consider a resolution to establish fees to provide dedicated fire unit at special events and cost recovery for emergency response and repeal resolution 19800. Chief Parker,
Good evening.
your
Good evening.
first regular meeting
Here I am.
presentation. We're excited.
I know. Thank you. And I bring my right-hand man with me. So, good evening, Mayor, members of the commission. The item before you considers service fees as part of a cost recovery for public event standbys, and then actually when we run emergency incidents such as hazardous material incidents. So specifically, we're asking the commission to consider a resolution to update cost in the fee schedule that represents the cost for our personnel and the materials that are used in standbys and emergency incidents. And then there's an additional piece here that there is a resolution 19800 that has costs that have already been established, and what we're asking you to do is update those costs based on the current FEMA schedule. And respectfully, I wasn't here when all of this work was done, but Chief Wenzel was here. So if we have questions specific to the item, I'm going to defer to Chief Wenzel.
Great. Thank you, Chief. Any comments or questions from the commission? Okay. Is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment, Chief and Assistant Chief Wenzel, thanks for all your work on this. Okay, with that, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean.
Yes, Commissioner Reed.
I move to approve a resolution to establish fees to provide a dedicated fire unit at special events and cost recovery for emergency response and repeal resolution number 19800.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, item B, consider an ordinance amending City of Helena ordinance numbers 3097 and the official zoning map for the City of Helena that changes the zoning district from R2 residential to public lands institutions PLI for the property legally described as Tract B1, being a portion of Tract B shown on certificate of survey filed under document number 510969E as disclosed by certificate of survey filed under document number 517897E, records of Lewis and Clark County, Montana, Planner Holland.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is the second passage in public hearing of the proposed zone change at Helena College. Specifically, as stated, this is consideration of an ordinance amending City of Helena Ordinance Number 3097 in the official zoning map for the City of Helena that changes the zoning district from R2 residential to public lands and institutions PLI for the property legally described as Tract B1, being a portion of Tract B shown on certificate of survey filed under document number 510969E, as disclosed by certificate of survey filed under document number 517897E, records of Lewis and Clark County, Montana. This property is the Helena College parking lot located southeast corner of North Harris Street and Townsend Avenue. When this was previously presented to you last month, it was unaddressed. Since then, an address has been applied for permitting purposes of 1605 Townsend Avenue. The applicant is seeking a zone change to PLI. This will conform with the institutional uses in the vicinity, and it will create a by right land use, removing the CUP that created the parking lot initially. Just for reference, here are some photos of the existing conditions. You can see St. Mary's Catholic Church in the background on the two photos on the left. And on the right, you can see Harris Street in the former Florence Crittenton, now Yellowstone Boys and Girls Club Ranch property, just for context of where this is. And across Harris Street is the Helena High School practice fields. City Code defines R2 residential as districts that provide for residential dwellings and limited non-residential developments that protects and enhances the residential nature of the area. It defines PLI districts as providing for and applying to public and quasi-public institutional land uses. And our 2025 Helena Forward Land Use Plan defines this area as urban residential. These are areas located near Helena's core and designed to support moderate to high density residential while accommodating a range of complementary business types, such as small-scale retail, cafes, professional offices, and personal services, with the intention of creating mixed-use neighborhoods. Per Montana code, zoning regulations must be made in accordance with the growth policy, designed to secure safety from fire and other dangers, promote public health, public safety, and general welfare, facilitate the adequate provision of transportation, water, sewerage, schools, parks, and other public requirements. In adopting these regulations, this body shall consider the reasonable provision of light and air, the effect on motorized and non-motorized transportation systems, the promotion of compatible urban growth, the character of the district and its suitability for particular uses, and conserving the value of buildings and encouraging the most appropriate use of land. As stated, this is urban residential in our land use plan. This subject property is tied to the institutional uses that anchor this part of the railroad district, being owned by the State of Montana Board of Regents and used by Helena College. This property is currently zoned R2. Our city code restricts that to essentially only residential uses, which does not meet the land use plan's target of supporting compatible commercial uses. And rezoning this property will create an expansion of the existing PLI in the area, and it'll bridge the PLI zoning districts to the west and north and align with the PLI compatible uses to the south within the R2 district. The land use plan also designates this as being an area of future infill development. As a state-owned property, it will only see development, most likely as educational or government facilities. And so the rezoning of this as PLI would encourage its use when it's, if it remains as R2, it will most likely see limited use as a state facility. This property is served by all City of Helena emergency services and utilities. And a PLI parcel of this size would be expected to generate about 1,250 trips per day, up from the estimated 209 that an R2 parcel would generate of this size. Our calculations for PLI are heavily weighted by the use of administrative government offices. If you remove that and align it with the other PLI uses that are in the area, healthcare, schools, and worship facilities, the expected traffic rate is cut by a little more than half, down to an estimated 611 trips per day for this parcel. As part of the review process, relevant city departments provide comment. Transportation stated they felt that the application in the traffic impact study were sufficient for the zone change, but would like to review proposed changes to the traffic flow, stop signs and such at the time of any permitting. Fire stated that the work will need to be reviewed by the current fire code when completed. Public Works, Utility, and Police provided no comment. This aligns with two specific key actions within our land use plan, supporting property owners, residents, and nonprofit organizations in bringing their properties into compliance with city code, and as stated, promoting the infill development and redevelopment of underutilized parcels. As far as zoning compatibility, this proposal would support the framework of institutional uses and adhere to the objectives of the land use plan, and it would not give the subject property any unique rights or privileges not provided to the other PLI properties in the area. For public engagement, the Planning Commission public hearing was legally noticed in the Helena Independent Record on May 23rd. Neighbor notices at that time were sent to all property owners within 150 feet and to all property owners along Harris Street, the primary access to the site that would be expected to see an increase of traffic flow, as well as a notice sign was placed on the property at that time. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the zone change at their June 9th meeting. This item was presented as a regular item to this body on July 6th. And then this meeting was publicly noticed in the Independent Record on August 1st with additional neighbor notices and the updating of the sign at that time as well. As of today, one written comment has been received, which you were forwarded last week. And then one meeting took place last week with an adjacent property owner to discuss their concerns and potential impacts they are seeing with it. That property owner is here tonight if they so choose to give comment. And with that, it is staff's recommendation to move to approve an ordinance amending City of Helena Ordinance Number 3097 in the official zoning map to change this property from R2 residential to public lands and institutions. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I am available for any questions you may have.
Thank you, Planner Holland. We'll first go to questions or comments from the commission. Manager Lake.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Quick question. Did I see that they have already completed a parking lot there? I was under the impression that that would require some type of approval. Can you clarify that piece for us?
Thank you, Mayor and Manager Lake. Yes. At a May 14th meeting between city staff, representatives of the Helena School District and representatives of Staley Engineering to discuss this parking lot, the school district pressed that they wanted to have this functional by the beginning of the school year as they are tearing up the parking lot or tore up the parking lot in June at Helena High. Representatives of the school and Staley Engineering were told by city staff at that time that dirt work is permitted in the city of Helena without a permit, as well as the storage of materials, but no permitted work may be completed until this zone change is official, 30 days from tonight, if this body chooses to pass this, as well as approval of the commercial site plan review. These photos are dated August 4th when I went to double check the sign. They went sort of beyond dirt work and they leveled the site and laid the millings from the old parking lot here to prepare it, did put in parking blocks, and did install a new approach onto Harris Street.
So I wonder, I guess Manager Lake, we can move ahead with the zone change tonight, but maybe this warrants a conversation with the applicants.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Yes, and sorry, I'm catching up after being out of the office, so I just noticed the photos here and was just surprised to see that work seemed to be moving forward very rapidly without the permits that are typically required. So we can certainly follow up with the applicant.
Okay.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
I have a lot of questions. When you just made a few comments, I opened up a whole can of questions for me. But you said dirt work doesn't need approval, but would have ripping out the parking lot need approval?
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioner Rigby. So the parking lot is at Helena High on the other side of the practice field there. It is part of their demolition permit that they have under going forth there. The new school is going going in the location of current parking. The school district, having to remove that parking, wanted to use the crushed, removed asphalt as the base for the parking lot. And then the second part of your question, so the city of Helena does allow excavation on a property without a permit. Because of the size of this amount of work, being approximately 2 acres, it does fall under Public Works for stormwater pollution protection plans, or SWIPs. I know Public Works staff has been in communication with the contractor on this. I am not the subject matter expert on that to say where all of that has landed, but that conversation has been in progress, I do know.
Thank you. That's where my question was going to lead into, was but more, just when you said no dirt work or dirt work didn't need a permit, I
Defer to Director Leland
thank you
on that answer.
stormwater and mitigation and runoff. Thank
Director
you.
Leland.
Mayor, Commissioners, as far as the dirt work, if they're doing more just mainly not really landscaping, just re-altering what the surface is and moving some of the dirt that is there. That is what they need a SWIP to be able to do. But there's a lot of other permits and regulations that we need to go through with the site review when we look at doing a parking lot. Do they have appropriate stormwater, not just a SWIP, to make sure that none of the dirt that is on the site is going to pollute our MS4. So we have the MS4 doing the preliminary work, which is the SWIP, and then they have the regulations, which is under the building and the site review, where we have to look at, are the zoning requirements, is the screening, is the landscaping, and then is the stormwater actually taken care of. That is 2 different reviews that we have out there. So they have done a SWIP, and that kind of goes through DEQ too, so there's approval there, so they meet the MS4, but have not gone through the site review for having a parking lot that is on site now.
Thank you. But just didn't want someone up the road to drive by and do an inspection.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission. Yeah.
Okay, additional comments or questions from the commission? Commissioner Logan.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. So who authorized the construction or the installation of the parking lot? Or the asphalt portion of it, I guess?
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioner Logan. I cannot say who did or who may or may not have authorized this. As stated, it was not presented to city staff. The commercial site review permit was applied for last Friday. But some combination of the representatives of Helena High and their contractor, Dick Anderson Construction, would be my assumption, but I do not know who actually authorize the scope of work that has been completed.
I'll just add the comment that it seems somewhat irregular.
Additional comments or questions? Yep, Commissioner Reed.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. I also find this highly unusual, and I'm a little concerned that we're moving forward with the zone change without, it seems like getting many answers about how we violated the existing terms of the permit, and I would prefer to have a discussion about that before we move forward.
I would not say we, though, not the city. You said we violate the terms of the permit, is that what you said?
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry, while the terms have been violated, apologies. It feels like that just sort of came out in the middle of a normal conversation, and I guess I'm having a hard time considering the application for the zone change in light of this revelation.
Okay, any additional discussion from the commission? I think, maybe, yep, Commissioner Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Question for Planner Holland. I know when we do these zonings, there's a certain level of things we have to look at and things that we can't look at. So when you ran through the zoning change to have this be public lands and institution because it's owned by the Board of Regents, it's used by Helena College, the current parking lot is used by Helena College. When we make a zoning consideration, does permitting come into our considerations at all when we do zoning, or is it just about appropriate use of the property?
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioner Gustafson. Zone changes are conducted use agnostic. They are supposed to be evaluated at the highest potential impacts of the zoning district, not specific to a proposed use.
So let's go to public comment, and then we'll come back to the commission for discussion and maybe additional questions for staff. So with that, we will go to public comment on the zone change from R2 to PLI. Is there any public comment? Hey. Pull that down, perfect.
Yellow house that you see in the pictures right there. And what the pictures do not do justice, it is completely painted and finished. There are cars currently using that lot. Sometimes they have it marked off. What the pictures do not show is that the parking lots entirely face the whole neighborhood. So all of the lots face into everyone's backyards, and the lot there, the closest parking space begins 5 feet from our house, which I woke up to construction, which is totally fine. We don't want them to stop progress. We don't want the school to have less parking. But with that, I woke up to construction, and with construction workers on our property, I went out and asked them, and they showed me where they would be constructing, and it was based off of an iPhone app. We then had them move the line until we get a proper survey, but that did not spark confidence, and based on what we have seen, and we are increasingly worried about several city code requirements, beginning at screening. There is no room for screening. Based on city codes, they must have at least 75% screening blocked for the first 6 feet. It is currently nothing, so lights look directly into all of our backyards. Cars without the parking blocks would drive directly through our driveway. We've already had a number of construction workers and then also pedestrians pass through, because where you see the sidewalk end, in that fourth picture, about just a hair over where those trees are, that's our house. So between the bushes and the huge drainage ditch they built, there is no safe way to get pedestrian access to the sidewalk except through our property, because there's maybe a 4-foot difference of their land that is left over. So people are already starting to walk through. There's an issue with, of course, all the lighting that faces directly into the backyards. There's the landscaping that has happened. It is whatever surface they call it, they scaled it directly down and put a drainage ditch that we met with city development that they said their drainage systems hadn't even seen the plans for. So if they put a drainage ditch that's scaled directly where a field used to be, that's also sharing a border with our house. So if it's scaled all of the water directly into our house, if their border is within 5 feet of our house, I don't know where they're gonna put snow removal. Without it being onto our property. We've already witnessed more runoff and puddles into our driveway with the rain this past week, along with more people walking through. And so all of this, we want the parking lot to expand, we want them to be happy, but there's no safe way to screen school faculty or students from our house. It's not just us, it's a 4-unit building, so we're not just one lot, we're 4 families. And so that's a 4-person property that has windows directly looking onto where pedestrians and students and faculty could be passing through. And so we just have a lot of those concerns about the stormwater, about the drainage, about the pedestrian access and safety, and about the light concerns for the neighborhood.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, Oh, yes. I'm sorry, your mic wasn't on when you stated your name for the record.
Oh, I am Rayleigh Hallman, here with my husband Hiram Hallman, and we're the owners of 1707 Townsend, which is that yellow house right there.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, is there additional public comment? Any additional public comment? Okay, seeing no additional public comment, we'll come back for additional discussion. Discussion from the commission. Yes, Commissioner Reed.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Following up on, I believe it was Commissioner Gustafson's question, the zoning appears to be separate from the discussion about what has happened on this site. Is that accurate?
Mayor and Commissioner Reed, yes, that's correct. And so I just, if I may interject a little bit, Commissioner Gustafson, I believe, pointed to those, 5 factors that you're to consider when considering a zone change. Those were on Mr. Holland's slides. If I think need be, maybe we could pull those up again. But those are the only factors that you're to consider for a zone change. If you feel that maybe further discussion needs to be made before making this decision, I would recommend tabling this item, but I'm not saying you have to do that. That would just be my recommendation if for some reason you feel you need more information or a further discussion before making a final decision outside of those factors.
If I might follow up? So if we wanted to have a separate discussion about this issue, I look to both you and Manager Lake. What would be the options for that conversation separate from the zoning discussion?
Mayor and Commissioner Reed, I would look to, I guess, you, the commission, to direct the manager and for the manager to place that on a subsequent meeting.
Okay. I wonder, do we have anyone representing the applicant here? I wonder if we could have a couple questions for the applicant. So I guess this has obviously prompted more discussion than I think we were originally anticipating. Do you, I guess, have any response to some of the revelations that have come to be, and any comments on the kind of timeline producing this zone change?
Yes, so thank you. My name is Greg Worth with Staley Engineering. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, which is the Helena School District, and also the owner, which is the Helena College. And, you know, we met with the community development, I think it was May, to discuss this project and understand that, the purpose of the project, the parking lot you see there, is for a temporary parking lot for Helena High. And in order to do that, they needed a zone change in order to do that. And the process didn't allow a zone change to be fully completed before the school district needed the parking lot to be operational, which is starting next week. Actually using some of the parking lot for the athletic activities that started last week as well. So the school district understands, unfortunately, that the process, to complete the zone change, there just wasn't enough time to do this. So they did take on the risk to do the earthwork on the project, move the millings onto the site in preparation of the permitted parking lot, which has been submitted to the city last week, understanding that the permit can't be issued until 30 days if it's approved tonight. So understanding that there are no, obviously, intent to violate the process, but the school district, needed parking spots other than the streets, having kids park on the streets. So by the time the negotiations took place with the college, there just wasn't enough time to complete the city zoning process.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Worth, appreciate it. Any additional questions for the applicant?
Mayor Dean?
Yes, Commissioner Logan.
No question for the applicant, just a comment based on that response. So I'm guessing this is part of the $250 million bond, part of the construction leading to the completion of that. And a parking lot's a pretty small thing. What do we expect from the school district? This is a rhetorical question. What do we expect from the school district moving forward? Just something to think about.
Commissioner Reed?
Thank you. Just following up on my previous comment, I would like to possibly have an update on a future agenda if there's agreement from fellow commissioners about how to mitigate the situation we're in, where it has been done, but it sounds like there's some concerns with the quality and some of the other regulations, and I would appreciate hearing what might be done to make the best of a not great situation.
Yes,
Mayor.
Commissioner Gustafson, and then we'll come back to Commissioner Rigby.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. This is more a comment to follow up on my previous comment. So looking at the well, here, let me back up. When thinking about zoning decisions, I get that we need to look at these considerations. And so when I look at these 5 considerations and I think about the change from R2 to public lands and institution, it feels appropriate for me that this zoning change makes sense and that we need to keep that thought process in this piece regardless of what's happening. And I do appreciate the applicant adding extra context. There's a lot of moving pieces between the college, the public schools, city staff, planning staff. But the decision here in front of us is a zoning change, and the zoning change does feel appropriate to me regardless of some of the other activities.
Commissioner Rigby?
Thank you, Mayor Dean. I agree with all 3 commissioners' comments. I agree that this is about the zoning change, and also would like some further discussion. Because yes, it's small enough to be a parking lot, and thank you for representing the applicant. And just a minor comment that you made, and they didn't intend to violate the process, but I feel like they kind of did intend to move it along they knew what they were doing. So I guess that is not part of the zoning process, but I would just like to say that is hopefully not the future of this project moving forward. So I look forward to discussing this further. Thank you.
Mayor Dean, just one more editorial comment. I'm really quite concerned about, this parking lot is pretty small, but there's a lot ahead. And it seems like whoever made the decision was very much a shoot first, ask questions later. And I hate to see this precedent it's already been done, obviously, but, and again, as other commissioners have said, maybe this zoning decision is independent of the right or wrong of what has happened, but it would be my expectation that the school district would, like every other development that happens in the city of Helena, would follow the processes that we have. And it's my hope.
I'm going to look to City Manager Lake. I know that there have been a number of meetings occurring with the district, contractor, engineers, et cetera. Can you talk at all about like cadence of how those meetings are occurring, and I guess, will those continue moving forward?
Thank you, Mayor Dean and Commission. Yes, we are having regular meetings. What we do wish as city staff is that we would have been brought in earlier into the process. I think a lot of these issues could have been mitigated if we had been brought into the process earlier in the planning, because obviously we want to see this project succeed. It's a huge thing for the community, but we are continuing to have conversations. And we are hopeful as staff that we'll have good partnership with the school district moving forward, and that there can be a shared understanding of the limitations of how we need to operate and move forward.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. This is obviously a significant and important investment in our community, and we want to see these investments made and also be able to follow the processes that we have outlined for the good of the public and everyone involved. Okay, any additional commission discussion? Okay, seeing no additional commission discussion, thank you, Mr. Worth, thank you, Mr. Holland. With that, I guess I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
I move to approve an ordinance amending City of Helena Ordinance Number 3097 and the official zoning map for the City of Helena that changes the zoning district from R2 residential to public lands and institutions, PLI, for the property legally described as Tract B1, being a portion of Tract B shown on Certificate of Survey filed under document number 510969-E, as disclosed by Certificate of Survey filed under document number 517897-E, records of Lewis and Clark County, Montana.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional commission discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
No.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-1.
Okay, we'll move on to item C. Consider a resolution to specify the assessment option for the landfill monitoring and maintenance district for fiscal year 2027 and levying an assessment on all property within the district. Dr. Leland.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. This is an assessment for the landfill monitoring district, which operates and maintains the old landfill that is underneath Centennial Park. It is methane collection and any of the water sampling that needs to be done and report to DEQ. We have to set the assessment every year, and we are not asking for an increase. It is going to say it's $7.23 per residential property, and then it's a varying scale for commercial. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Yes, Commissioner Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. A question maybe for the acting city attorney, but I don't know if you'll be able to answer. Will this special, or this maintenance district, is it subject to the same, you're answering, the same limits as the urban forestry district? So if we do want to raise the assessment, we'll have a cap on it. Okay. Do you have more to add on that besides the nodding, Director Leland?
Mayor, Commission, yes, looking at it and talking to the city attorney is, yes, this falls under that same requirement that we have. We can only raise so much. So in future years, we may look at doing the incremental increases that we can have in case there is something that we need as a big capital project, that methane grows that we're seeing, or contamination with the groundwater that we need to do a significant capital project. So we may increase it incrementally so we can have some cash reserves in case an emergency happens.
And a follow-up, if I may, Mayor. This is the final day for this one, so we can't change it this year. Okay, thank you.
Additional questions or comments from the commission?
Mayor Dean?
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
So more of a comment, I guess, that based on what we found out from the urban forestry, I guess I would like to have a further discussion for next year's budget on, so we don't fall into the same situation as the urban forestry, need $9 and only get $1.17. So I look forward to that discussion as well. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no additional discussion, is there any public comment on the landfill monitoring and maintenance district? Any public comment on the landfill monitoring and maintenance district? Okay, seeing none, any final discussion from the commission? I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Reed.
I move to approve a resolution specifying the assessment option for the landfill monitoring and maintenance district for fiscal year 2027 and levying an assessment on all property within the district.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, consider a resolution specifying the assessment option for the collection and disposal of residential garbage and refuse for fiscal year 2027 and levying an assessment on all properties receiving residential solid waste collection. Director Leland.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission. This is the assessment for the residential collection of solid waste. We are not asking for an increase of the assessment. It will still be the 3,000 gallon or 3,000 pounds that you can give with your permit, and then the collection from all of the curbside collection that we have. The only changes that we are is PTAP will be removed because it is not appropriate for assessments, and to get a new permit will increase from $5 to $10, but other than that, it will stay at the $218.10 a year assessment. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Great. Questions or comments for Director Leland? Yes, Commissioner Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. More a comment related to our admin meeting last week and the presentation from the consultants. I know it's not part of this year's rates, but I look forward to thinking about how we maybe add some services, curbside recycling, commingle, green waste, and how we pay for those in the future. I think there will be great services for our constituents.
Okay, seeing no additional discussion, is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment and no additional commission discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean.
Yes, Commissioner Logan.
I move to approve a resolution to specify the assessment option for the collection of and disposal of residential garbage and refuse for fiscal year 2027 and levy and assess all properties receiving residential solid waste collection.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
Okay, consider a resolution specifying the assessment option for the stormwater utility service area for fiscal year 2027 and levying an assessment on all properties within the area. Director Leland.
Thank you, Mayor Commission. This is my last one, so you don't have to listen to me anymore. And so this will be for the stormwater utility. Again, we are not asking for an increase on this. We are going to stay at the $46.16 for every residential lot. If you do go above the 22,222 square feet of impervious area, there is an impervious square foot charge, both in commercial and residential, and then commercial rate is $71.81 per lot. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, questions or comments for, yes,
Mayor
Sean Logan. Commissioner
thank you.
Logan, sorry.
Just remind us all of impervious area.
Mayor Dean, Commissioner, it is anything within the lot that is not basically grass, gravel, anything that can percolate the water into the ground. So you're talking your driveways, patios, and building footprint. So any building footprint we look at, parking lot we look at, and that is the impervious area where we look at a square foot charge based on the total impervious area.
So a building's footprint would add to that, the roof and what have you?
Mayor, Commissioner, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or comments from the commission? All right, is there any public comment on this item? Any public comment on the stormwater utility service area? Okay, seeing no public comment and no additional discussion from the commission, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
I move to approve a resolution specifying the assessment option for the stormwater utility service area for fiscal year 2027 and levying an assessment on all property within the service area.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed. Aye. Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, consider a resolution to specify the assessment option for the special street lighting districts for fiscal year 2027 and levying an assessment on all property within the district. Ms. McLean. Round two.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. So like we discussed earlier, this is a resolution to specify the assessment option for the special street lighting districts for fiscal year 2027 and levying an assessment on all properties within the districts. So this resolution will set the rates for those 54 lighting districts, and that assessment goes towards defraying the cost of electricity and maintenance and administration of each lighting district. Any questions?
Questions or comments for Ms. McLean? One, if you can just confirm this, so sometimes lighting districts get confusing. The city is essentially a pass-through. We don't own the lights. We just charge the assessment and pass it on to Northwestern Energy, who actually owns and operates the light. Is that accurate?
Mayor, Commissioners, that is my understanding, yes.
Great. All right. Any additional questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, is there any public comment on the special street lighting districts? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment, any final commission discussion? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Commissioner Reed.
I move to approve a resolution to specify the assessment option for the special street lighting districts for fiscal year 2027 and levy and assess all property within the districts.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right. We will next consider resolution specifying the assessment option for the open space maintenance district number 1 for fiscal year 2027 and levying an assessment on all properties within the district. Mr. Langsather.
Mayor Dean, Commission, city staff is recommending that we leave the per lot rate unchanged and that we make an alteration or an increase of 0.0017 in the impervious space assessment for those lots in excess of 2,222 square feet. The last 2 fiscal years, the Open Lands Division has trended into our cash reserves, and moving this increment will allow us to be at not into those cash reserves anymore. So we'll generate about $85,000.
Thank you, Mr. Langsather. Questions or comments from the commission? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Mr. Langsather. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment and no additional commission discussion, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
I I move to approve a resolution specifying the assessment option for the Open Space Maintenance District Number 1 for fiscal year 2027, levying an assessment on all property within the district.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no additional discussion, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, our final public hearing, consider a resolution levying an assessment on properties to recover the amortized loans issued under the Residential Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy Loan Program for tax year 2026. Ms. McLean.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. So this assessment is to have repayments on the agreements property owners entered into with the city for 0% loans for the purpose of purchasing and installing energy-efficient upgrades to their residences. In the last fiscal year, 14 property owners entered into such agreements, and currently the city has 59 outstanding loans to be collected for tax year 2026 for a total amount of $66,256.82. And again, this assessment is just to levy those repayments. And are there any questions?
Questions or comments for Ms. McLean? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Ms. McLean. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment and no additional discussion from the commission, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean.
Commissioner Reed.
I move to approve a resolution levying an assessment on properties to recover the amortized loans issued under the Residential Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy Loan Program for the tax year 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no final discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, so at this point, is there any general public comment for any item not discussed on tonight's agenda? Any public comment on any items not discussed on tonight's agenda? Yes, ma'am.
I have a public comment. I want to draw the commissioners, the mayor, attorneys, to a ruling made by the Attorney General. And I had also forwarded to you guys in March. Whereas as AG volume number 46, opinion number 7, in which states that assessments cannot be made on a property unless that benefits that property. And so I would like you all to review that because on some of these assessments, it may apply. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any additional general public comment? Okay, seeing no additional general public comment, any final comments or questions from the commission?
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
just to, I guess, I don't want to go back to the zoning. on
Close the loop.
Yeah, just, so, I said yes on the zoning, but I'm still not very happy with the process that took place. I guess that's what I would like to say, and I don't know how we can get everybody in the same room to talk about the process, because, as mentioned, this is a big thing for our community. It's obviously already affecting people in the community, unfortunately negatively right now, and I'd hate to see that grow and grow. This was a big ask from the community for everybody, and this is supposed to benefit and not be a negative. So I really, really hope we can have better communication as we go on. So, thank you.
Okay, seeing no additional discussion, with that, this meeting is adjourned.